I still remember the first moment I saw Aaliyah, standing under the old courtyard tree after Asor, her soft smile catching the last bit of sunlight. That smile hit me like warm air on a winter morning, and I felt something inside me shift so quietly that I almost ignored it. "You look lost," she said back then, her voice gentle enough to make my heart stumble. I laughed and said, "Maybe I am," even though I never admitted how true the words felt. From that moment on, Aaliyah became the center of every small hope I didn't even know I carried. Yusuf noticed it before I did. "Bro, you keep looking at her like she's a sunrise," he teased one morning. I nudged him and said, "Relax, it's not that serious," but he laughed so loudly that even Miriam shook her head at us. She always had this calm smile, the kind that made everyone feel safe. Kareem, my older brother, was the only one who never let my feelings slide without warning me. "You trust too fast," he said one night while we walked back from the library. I told him he worried too much, but he only replied, "Just keep your eyes open, little brother." I should have listened more closely. I didn't care about warnings back then. All I saw was the way Aaliyah smiled during group study, how she whispered Bismillah before opening her notebook, how her eyes softened when she said, "I'm glad we're friends." Every moment felt pure. Every moment felt honest. Or maybe I just wanted it to be. But the first red flag appeared so quietly I almost missed it. One afternoon, while we sat under the same courtyard tree, her phone lit up with a name she hid with her hand so quickly it felt rehearsed. I asked, "Everything okay?" She forced a smile and said, "Yeah, just family." I believed her too easily. The second sign came a week later when I found her crying in the hallway. "Aaliyah, talk to me," I said, walking closer. She shook her head fast and whispered, "I can't." I begged, "Why not? What's wrong?" But she only said, "Please don't ask." I wanted to respect her, so I stepped back and swallowed my confusion. I tried telling Yusuf about it. "Maybe she's dealing with something serious," he said. I replied, "Then why won't she trust me?" He shrugged and answered, "Some people hide the truth because they think they'll lose you." His words stayed with me longer than I wanted, maybe because a part of me feared he was right. But even then, every time she smiled at me, the doubt disappeared. "You're quiet today," she would say, tilting her head in that soft way that made my chest tighten. I answered, "Just tired," even when I wasn't. She nodded gently and whispered, "You're always here for me." Those words felt like a promise I didn't deserve. Still, late at night, I found myself replaying the strange moments in my head. The hidden phone, the sudden tears, the half answers. I whispered to myself, maybe I'm overthinking, but something inside me tightened whenever her smile faded too fast. I kept everything to myself, afraid that asking the wrong question would break whatever we had. Miriam noticed my silence during lunch. "You look exhausted," she said. I forced a smile and replied, "Just distracted." She stared at me for a long second before saying, "If something feels wrong, don't ignore it." Her words shook me a little because they echoed everything Kareem ever warned me about. But I didn't listen. I kept chasing her smile like it was some kind of blessing meant just for me. I told myself that whatever she hid, it couldn't hurt me. I told myself that trust meant patience, that love meant ignoring the shadows, and I believed every lie I whispered to my own heart. I ended the day by walking home alone, thinking about how her smile made everything feel bright, even when doubt whispered at the edges of my mind. "She chose me," I kept repeating, as if saying it enough would make it true. I didn't know then that her smile was the first crack in the walls I had built around myself. I didn't understand the danger of that feeling back then. I only felt hope, strong and blinding. When I reached my building, I whispered, "Ya Allah, let this be real," trying to calm the fear growing inside me. The wind was cold, but my chest felt warm with her memory. I told myself Aaliyah would never hurt me, even though something in my voice trembled. If I had listened to that trembling, maybe I would have saved myself before everything shattered. The night it happened still plays in my head like a wound that refuses to fade. I went to the campus masjid after Maghrib, hoping the quiet air would calm the noise in my mind. But as I stepped outside after praying, I froze. I heard her voice, Aaliyah's voice, soft, low, and trembling with a sweetness I never heard before. "Habibi, please come quickly," she whispered. I felt something inside me drop so hard that I had to lean against the wall. I tried to breathe, but my chest wouldn't move. I stepped back, hiding behind the pillar near the entrance. My fingers shook as I whispered, "Ya Allah, no, no, not her." I leaned closer, the cold marble biting my cheek as I strained to hear her words. He thinks he's helping me, she said, her tone almost laughing. Wallahi, he's so easy, so soft, he doesn't question anything. My heart cracked in a way I didn't know the human body could break. Aaliyah, why? I whispered to myself, gripping the corner of the pillar as if it could anchor me to reality. A man's footsteps approached, steady and sure. When I saw him step into the light, my breath died. Hamza. The respected one, the admired one. The one who lectured us about sincerity and truth. He smiled at her. She smiled back in a way I had never seen. You're late, she whispered. He laughed softly. You missed me that much? She hit his chest lightly and said, Stop, someone could hear. My stomach twisted, my fingers went numb. I wanted to move, but I felt nailed to the ground. Then he asked, What about that guy who follows you around? I didn't want to hear her answer. I prayed she'd defend me. I prayed she'd say something kind, something real. Instead, she sighed loudly. He's not a problem. He just trusts too quickly. I tell him what he wants to hear. My throat closed. The air felt poisonous. I pressed my hand against my mouth so I wouldn't shout. Hamza chuckled. Poor guy. She replied, He'll be useful for a little longer. I felt myself crumble. The light above them flickered, and for a second I wished it would go dark forever. Anything to stop me from watching the moment my world tilted. I stepped back slowly, my shoes scraping the stone. The sound was small, but her head turned instantly. Who's there? She asked sharply. I didn't wait. I turned and walked fast, then faster, until I reached the empty courtyard behind the masjid. I sat on the edge of the fountain, gripping my hair with both hands. No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't say that, I whispered, but the truth was already digging its teeth into my chest. I stayed there until I forced myself to breathe again. When I finally stood, my legs shook. I walked back toward the dorms because I knew I couldn't pretend nothing happened. She had to know I heard. She had to hear my voice at least once before whatever we had collapsed for good. I found her near the library later that night. She looked surprised, almost irritated. Oh, she said, you scared me. We need to talk, I said, my voice thin and breaking. About what? She asked, crossing her arms. I heard you, I whispered. She blinked. Outside the masjid, I said. Heard me what? I heard everything. Her expression didn't soften, it hardened. You're overthinking again, she said quickly. You always do this. No, I replied, forcing my voice not to crack. I heard you call him Habibi. I heard you talk about me. She laughed, actually laughed. Seriously? You're being paranoid. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that, I said. She stepped closer, her eyes sharp. Listen to me. You're imagining things. I don't know what you think you heard, but it wasn't about you. I heard my name. You misheard. I heard your voice. You're twisting it. I heard you say I'm easy and soft. Her expression didn't flicker. You're overreacting, she repeated. You always take things the wrong way. My throat wanted to close again. Aaliyah, please don't lie to me. I'm done with this conversation, she said, shaking her head. I don't owe you explanations. You owe me the truth. She scoffed. I don't owe you anything. Stop making drama. Then she turned and walked away, leaving me standing under the white lights of the library entrance, my hands trembling so hard I hid them in my pockets. When Yusuf found me 15 minutes later, he touched my shoulder and asked, What happened? You look like you're freezing. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. My lips felt numb. Miriam stood beside him and whispered, You're pale. Sit down. I sat on the stairs, my fingers digging into my knees as I forced myself to breathe. What did she do? Yusuf asked. I shook my head. Nothing, I whispered. It was just a night. But inside, the truth cut deeper. The night didn't hurt me. Her voice did. I thought distance would save me, but Aaliyah reached me before the silence could. The morning after everything happened, my phone buzzed with her name. I stared at the screen until it dimmed, hoping the message would disappear on its own. It didn't. Assalamu alaikum, she wrote. We shouldn't let Shaitan win between us. I whispered, why does she talk like she didn't break me? But I opened the chat anyway. Another message came. You misunderstood everything. Don't assume. Islam teaches us better. My chest tightened. I typed, I heard what you said. She replied instantly. You heard wrong. You let your emotions cloud your mind. I put the phone down, rubbed my face, and whispered, why am I letting this hurt me again? At lunch, Yusuf sat across from me and asked, why do you look like you didn't sleep? Aaliyah messaged, I said quietly. His fork froze mid-air. And she wants me to forgive her. He sighed. Bro, she's manipulating you. Everyone saw her with Hamza today. Together? I asked, my throat tightening. Yes, he said. Close. Too close. I shook my head. Maybe they were just talking. Yusuf leaned forward. Why are you making excuses for someone who stepped on your heart? I don't know, I whispered. Maybe because I still want to believe she's good. He didn't answer. His silence said everything. Later that day, I found Aaliyah waiting near the courtyard. She held a notebook against her chest, her expression soft. I need to talk to you, she said. I don't think we should, I replied. She stepped closer. Please, don't shut me out. I took a breath. Aaliyah, stop acting like nothing happened. She bit her lip, lowering her gaze. I didn't mean to hurt you. Wallahi, you misunderstood. A Muslim man shouldn't accuse a Muslim woman without proof. My mouth tightened. I didn't accuse you. I heard you. You heard bits, she said. You always assume the worst. It's not fair. I'm not assuming, I said, my voice shaking. She touched my arm gently. Forgive me, we should fix this. Don't let your ego block what Allah wants. Something inside me twisted painfully. Stop using Allah to guilt me. Her eyes widened. I'm just reminding you of what's right. No, I said, you're hiding behind religion. She stepped back, offended. I can't believe you'd say that. Then why were you with Hamza? I asked. She froze for a second, just 1 second, but I saw it. She recovered quickly. He's helping me with a project. Are you jealous? The word stabbed me. Jealous? She gave a small laugh. You always get possessive. It makes you look insecure. My jaw locked. I'm not insecure. I'm hurt. Well, your hurt looks dramatic, she said, her voice honey-sweet but sharp beneath the surface. Her kindness felt like a blade. That evening, in the study hall, I sat beside Miriam and pretended to focus on my notes. She looked at me gently. You're quiet, she said. I'm fine, I replied. She shook her head. You say that even when your heart's bleeding. Before I could answer, Zara, a new student who had joined our group recently, sat down near us. She rarely spoke, but she always watched everything carefully. She glanced between us. Is everything okay? I forced a smile. Just tired. Zara nodded slowly, though her eyes lingered on me longer than expected, like she already knew something was wrong, but didn't want to intrude. When Aaliyah entered the hall, she walked straight toward us. Her smile was bright, too bright. Assalamu alaikum, she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Miriam replied softly. I stayed silent. Aaliyah pulled a chair and sat across from me. Can we talk now? No, I said. A few people looked up, surprised by my bluntness. Aaliyah blinked, then lowered her gaze like she was hurt. Don't embarrass me. You embarrassed me first, I whispered. Her voice trembled. Why are you treating me like this? I didn't do anything wrong. That is exactly the problem, I said. Tears appeared in her eyes, soft, small, perfectly timed. Miriam whispered, Guys, maybe talk somewhere else? Aaliyah sniffed lightly. I don't know why he's so angry at me. I've done nothing but care. Someone from the next table asked, Everything okay? Aaliyah wiped a tear. He thinks I betrayed him. I didn't. Whispers spread around us. I clenched my fists. Stop twisting this. She whispered, You're hurting me. A few students glared at me like I was the villain. I closed my eyes. Aaliyah, please don't act like you're the one bleeding here. She quietly sobbed, a fragile sound designed to break the room's sympathy in her direction. A couple of girls rushed to her side, comforting her. You should talk gently, one of them told me. You're being too harsh, another added. Aaliyah looked up at me with wet lashes, whispering, See? Everyone knows how you are. My stomach twisted. I stood. I'm going home. As I walked out, I heard Yusuf calling after me. Wait! I kept moving until he grabbed my shoulder outside. Bro, don't let her play you, he said. She made me look insane, I whispered. Because she knows how to. I looked at him helplessly. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misunderstood. No, he said firmly. You saw what she did in there. I rubbed my hands over my face. Her voice always sounds kind. Yusuf exhaled slowly. Kind voices can lie. Yes, I whispered, and betrayal doesn't scream. I looked back through the glass doors of the hall. She was smiling now, laughing even, like the tears never existed. And in that moment, something inside me shifted painfully. Her smile didn't look the same anymore. It looked sharp. I swear, I didn't mean to hurt you. Aaliyah's voice trembled through the message on my screen, but I wasn't looking at her apology. I was staring at the first two words of the message she sent me, words that were never meant for me. My love. My breath stopped. My fingers shook. I read it again, and again, and again, and again. I messaged her quickly, Who is this for? She replied, Don't overthink, I'll explain later. Explain? How do you explain sending my love to someone who isn't me? My chest tightened as I walked toward the courtyard where everyone was gathered. I didn't plan the confrontation. My feet moved before my mind did. When I reached them, Yusuf, Miriam, Zara, and Aaliyah, I felt my voice rise from somewhere deeper than anger, deeper than fear. Aaliyah, I said, look at me. She turned, eyes wide, soft, innocent, too innocent. You look upset, she whispered. You sent me a message meant for someone else. Her face went pale. What message? I held up my phone. My love. The words echoed louder than I wanted. Who were you calling that? Her lips parted. Her throat worked. Then she whispered, You're invading my privacy. My heart stuttered. What? You shouldn't read things that aren't meant for you, she said louder, letting her voice tremble the way she always did when she wanted people to protect her. You always do this. You always assume. I didn't assume. You sent it to me, Aaliyah. You clicked my name. People turned their heads. Aaliyah's eyes glossed with tears instantly. I can't believe you'd humiliate me like this. Miriam stepped forward. He's not humiliating you. He's asking a question. Yusuf crossed his arms. Aaliyah, don't twist it. But she wiped a tear with shaking fingers and whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear. He checks my phone. He doubts me. He suffocates me. I never touched your phone, I said. My voice cracked and embarrassment burned through me. You're lying. Hamza arrived then, calm as always, hands behind his back like he was entering a lecture. What's going on here? He asked. Aaliyah instantly turned to him. He's attacking me, she said, pointing at me without looking at me. My stomach dropped. Attacking you? I'm asking about your message. Hamza placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Aaliyah, breathe. You don't need to justify anything. Zara's eyes narrowed. Why are you answering for her? Hamza gave her a polite smile. I'm simply offering Islamic guidance. I laughed bitterly. Islamic guidance? That's what you call it? Hamza lifted his chin. Be careful with your tone. You told her to call you my love, didn't you? He didn't flinch. No. Aaliyah sniffed. He didn't. Stop accusing him. My vision blurred from the pressure inside my head. Then why did you send that message? Why won't you answer that one simple question? Her tears fell harder. Because you're scaring me. The crowd shifted. I heard whispers. I heard doubt. I felt shame clawing at me like a physical thing. I'm scaring you, I whispered. All I did was ask. Lower your voice, Hamza said. This isn't appropriate. My voice? I snapped. Your hand is still on her shoulder. That's what's not appropriate. His hand dropped instantly. A flicker of guilt flashed in his eyes, then he recovered. I was comforting her. Comfort her with distance then. How dare you talk to him like that? Aaliyah gasped like I had slapped her. He's an Islamic leader. And you're? I stopped myself. My throat closed around the truth I didn't want to say in public. Miriam stepped beside me, placing her hand lightly on my arm. You're not wrong, she whispered. Yusuf came to my other side. We're here, he said. Zara walked forward too. You're lying, Aaliyah, she said calmly. Your eyes gave it away the moment he mentioned the message. Aaliyah's voice broke into a sob. Why are you all attacking me? What did I ever do to you? You lied, Zara replied, and you're still lying. The group around us went silent. For the first time, Aaliyah couldn't hide behind her tears. Her face hardened for a second, cold, sharp, before she softened back into the innocent mask. I didn't lie, she whispered. My brother's voice cut through the silence. Yes, you did. Kareem walked in from behind me, expression like steel. And you've been lying for a long time. Aaliyah froze. Hamza looked away. Kareem stood in front of me. Walk away, he said softly, before she destroys whatever is left inside you. I just want the truth, I whispered. You won't get it, Kareem said, because she doesn't want to give it. Aaliyah's voice trembled. Kareem, please. He lifted a hand. No more manipulation. I felt something inside me crack. Not pain this time, not rage, just a deep exhaustion that hollowed me out. My knees weakened, my vision dimmed. I need Allah, I breathed. I walked away from all of them, away from her tears, away from his calm lies, away from the crowd that didn't know what to believe. Inside the masjid, the world felt quiet again. I went into sujood. My forehead touched the ground. My chest finally broke. Ya Allah, I whispered into the carpet, guide me, please, guide me. And for the first time in weeks, I felt myself breathe. I was sitting on the bench outside the library when Yusuf ran toward me, breathless. Bro, you need to see this, he said, handing me his phone. What is it now? I asked, tired before even looking. He pointed at the screen. Look. It was a message in the campus WhatsApp group, a screenshot, Aaliyah's name at the top, her chatting with Hamza. Flirting. Open. Bold. Zero hesitation. My throat tightened. When was this taken? Last night, Yusuf said. A student saw them together behind the masjid too. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. So it was all true, I whispered. Miriam joined us. her voice gentle. I'm sorry you had to see it like this. I exhaled slowly. At least now I'm not crazy. Zara walked up, arms folded, eyes sharp. You were never crazy, she said. They were just good at lying. Too good, I muttered. Then my phone vibrated nonstop. Message after message flooded in. More screenshots, more proof. Aliyah and Hamza. Together. Talking like lovers. Talking like the message she accidentally sent me wasn't an accident at all. Yusuf rubbed his forehead. Campus is going wild, man. Miriam nodded. Everyone's asking questions. What are they saying? I asked. That Hamza's been flirting with half the girls in his so-called Islamic guidance circle, Zara said, and Aliyah's been his favorite. My chest ached, but not the way it used to. The pain felt distant, like it wasn't mine anymore. Then another message popped up in the group. Aliyah's message. I was manipulated. I trusted the wrong person. Please don't judge me. I closed my eyes. Of course, I whispered. Now she's the victim again. She's scared, Yusuf said. Her image is cracking. Miriam sighed. Hamza won't stay quiet. And she was right. Another notification came through. Hamza's reply. I never misled her. She pursued me. I guided her spiritually. She crossed limits. I let out a humorless laugh. They're blaming each other now. Zara looked at me, her voice low. Allah exposed them, for you. Something loosened in my chest, something that felt like a knot untying after weeks of suffocation. I breathed in deeply. Maybe he did. More messages flooded the group, students arguing, screenshots bouncing between chats, voice notes, angry emojis, accusations. Miriam sat beside me. How do you feel? I don't know, I said honestly. Lighter, maybe. A little angry, a little relieved, mostly tired. You deserve peace, she whispered. Yusuf nodded. You didn't do anything wrong. I stood up slowly. I think I want to pray. Then pray, Zara said. You need it. I walked toward the masjid. My steps felt heavier at first, then lighter the closer I got. When I entered, it wasn't crowded, just silence, just space, just me and the weight I was finally ready to put down. After I prayed, I sat against the wall and stared at my hands. Why did I let her break me this much? I whispered to myself. A voice answered quietly from the doorway. Because you cared. I looked up. Kareem leaned against the railing, arms crossed. You saw the messages? I asked. Everyone did, he replied. It was only a matter of time. I feel stupid. You're not stupid, he said, sitting next to me. You were honest. They weren't. I rubbed my forehead. Why does the truth hurt even when it's finally out? Because healing hurts too, he said, but it leads somewhere better. I stayed silent for a moment. Then I asked, do you think I'll be okay? You're already getting there, he replied. Look at you, you're breathing again. I let out a shaky laugh. It counts, he said. Barely. When I walked back outside, Yusuf waved at me. Bro, campus is blowing up. They're dragging Hamza left and right. Miriam shook her head. His reputation is done. What about Aliyah? I asked. Zara checked her phone, crying online, playing helpless, but people aren't buying it anymore. I sat on the bench again, watching students pass by, whispering, sending screenshots. The two people who broke me were breaking each other now, publicly, loudly, ruthlessly. I thought it would make me happy, I admitted. And does it? Yusuf asked. No, I said. It just feels quiet. Quiet is good, Miriam said. Quiet means your heart is resting. Zara looked at me carefully. What will you do now? I took a slow breath. Live. Yusuf smiled. That's a start. I nodded. I want to rebuild myself. How? Zara asked. By doing what I stopped doing, I said. Attending classes, praying on time, eating properly, talking to the right people, choosing peace over begging someone to see me. Miriam smiled softly. That's growth. Kareem joined us again. Proud of you, he said. I looked at all of them, my friends, my brother, my circle that stayed, even when I was collapsing. I wasted so much time, I said. Then make today the first day you don't, Zara replied. Her words settled in me like a seed. I stood up again. For the first time in so long, my spine didn't feel heavy, my chest didn't feel cracked, my steps didn't drag. Let's go to class, I said. Yusuf grinned. There he is. Miriam linked her arm with mine. Welcome back. As we walked, I whispered to myself, silent strength, slow strength. And for the first time, I believed it. I was walking out of class when I heard someone call my name. Soft, shaky, almost broken. Can we talk? Aaliyah stood there. Her eyes were red, her scarf messy, her hands trembling like she couldn't hold herself together. I didn't answer. I didn't move. She took a step toward me. Please, just 5 minutes. Yusuf looked at me, waiting for my signal. I shook my head gently. It's fine, I said quietly. I'll handle it. He stepped back but stayed close enough if I needed him. Aaliyah twisted her fingers. I know I messed up, she whispered, but you have to listen. Hamza lied to me. He used me. I stared at her, saying nothing. She tried again. I swear I didn't mean to hurt you. You were the only one who made me feel safe. I lost myself. My silence made her panic. She moved closer. Say something, please. I still didn't speak. Her breathing hitched. Do you hate me now? I looked at her, not with anger but with emptiness. It scared her more than shouting ever could. She reached out like she wanted to hold my arm. I stepped back. She froze. You don't believe me, do you? I didn't answer. Her voice cracked. He tricked me. He told me things. He said you were weak. He said you weren't man enough. I was stupid. I listened. I swear I didn't know he was lying. Please, I'm begging you. Don't leave me like this. I finally spoke. You left me first. Her lips trembled. She wiped her face. I know. I regret it every second. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't think straight. Silence again. I love you, she whispered. Those 3 words didn't move me. They only made the air colder between us. I made a mistake, she cried. Please, give me one chance. I shook my head. No. The word hit her like a slap. She stumbled back. I turned away. You don't mean that. I'm done. She grabbed her chest like she couldn't breathe. Please, she whispered, don't walk away. I walked anyway. Her sobs followed me, but they didn't break me this time. They didn't even scratch me. Later that day, I ran into Hamza near the masjid. He stepped in front of me. Hey, listen. No, I said, walking past him. He moved again. You don't even want to hear my side? There is no side that fixes anything, I replied. He frowned. She blamed me for everything. You know she lies. I was trying to guide her. I kept walking. Bro, don't be childish, he said. I stopped for a second. Stay away from me. He raised his hands. Fine, whatever. I left him standing alone, looking smaller than I had ever seen him. That evening, Kareem knocked on my door. You okay? He asked. I nodded. Yeah. He sat on my bed. She came to me too, you know, crying, trying to explain. I looked at him. What did you say? I told her she should pray for forgiveness, he replied, and let you rebuild in peace. I let out a breath. Thanks. He smiled. I'm proud of you. You're growing. Growing. Changing. Finally, breathing. The next morning, I started a routine. Fajr in the masjid. Breakfast instead of skipping it. Classes with full focus. No scrolling through old messages. No checking if Aliyah posted anything. Yusuf noticed. You look different, he said. Miriam said the same, I replied. You're standing straighter, he smiled, like your heart is lighter. Maybe it is, I said. Zara joined us quietly. You handled her well yesterday. I shrugged. I just didn't react. That's strength, she said. Her voice was soft, not pitying, not intrusive, just steady. I appreciated that. Days passed. Aliyah started sending long texts, paragraphs of apologies, prayers, promises, explanations. I didn't open them. I didn't delete them either. I just let them sit unread. Zara noticed me staring at my phone once. You don't have to reply, she said. I won't, I answered. She's regretting everything now, Zara said. She's drowning in it. I'm not her savior, I replied. No, she agreed. You're your own. Her words settled in my chest like calm water. One afternoon, Miriam walked with me across campus. She asks about you, she said quietly. I exhaled. Let her. She says she can't move on. She should learn how, I said. Miriam studied my face. You're not angry anymore. I'm tired of being angry. That's a blessing, she said. Maybe it was. A week later, Aliyah approached again. I saw her from far away, walking fast, waving, calling my name. I didn't slow down. She reached me, breathless. Please, just listen to me one more time. I don't need to, I said. Tears spilled instantly. I know I ruined everything, but I'm trying. I'm praying every night. I'm begging Allah to fix this. Then let him fix you, I said, not us. She covered her mouth. I can't lose you. You already did. Her cry broke into the hallway, but I didn't turn back. Zara found me later. Are you okay? Yeah, I said. Actually, I am. You're changing, she smiled. I hope so. You are, she said, and it suits you. Her words made something warm settle inside me. That night, I scrolled through my phone. I saw Aliyah's new posts, vague quotes about heartbreak, guilt, repentance. She was watching my stories too. Every time I improved, every time I smiled, every time I showed progress, she reacted. Regret was eating her alive. But I didn't go back. For once in my life, I chose myself. I stood backstage listening to the low hum of the university hall. You're ready, Zara whispered beside me, her hand lightly tapping my shoulder. I nodded, even though my chest felt tight. When the host called my name, I stepped into the light, and the silence settled like a weight across the room. I could feel eyes on me, curious, expectant, searching. I breathed slowly. Assalamu alaikum, I said into the microphone. Today, I want to speak about something simple and painful: trust. My voice echoed faintly. We trust people because we see kindness in them, and we assume that kindness means safety. But betrayal hurts most when it comes wrapped in that same kindness. Someone in the front row shifted. I didn't look directly, but I felt Aliyah's presence like a shadow pressed against my ribs. I continued. I learned that people can love you at sunrise and forget you by sunset. I learned that even gentle voices can twist truth. My throat tightened, but I didn't let it win. But I also learned that Allah never lets heartbreak go to waste. The hall was motionless. Sometimes, I said, He lets us fall so He can teach us how to stand on strength we never knew we had. My fingers tightened on the podium. Hardship exposes hearts. Shadows reveal truth. Silence reveals character. A murmur ran somewhere in the crowd. I didn't check who it came from. I wasn't speaking to them. I was speaking to the version of myself that had once knelt on the floor, broken and begging for clarity. I'm not here to name anyone. I'm not here to expose anyone. I'm here to tell you that the moment you stop bleeding for people who enjoy watching you break, you start to breathe again. For a second, the microphone felt hot in my grip. I exhaled. When we lose something for the sake of Allah, I said softly, He replaces it with something better: strength, peace, clarity. I heard someone sniff quietly, maybe Aaliyah, maybe not. I didn't turn. When I ended the speech, the applause rose slowly, cautiously, then grew louder. I stepped back, heart thudding, and walked off stage. Zara met me immediately. You spoke like you were born for this, she said, her eyes shining. Wallahi, you looked free. I feel lighter, I admitted. The words surprised me, for the first time. You deserve that. We walked toward the courtyard where Yusuf and Mariam were waiting. Yusuf grinned when he saw me. Man, you destroyed the entire hall with wisdom. Mariam nudged him. It was beautiful, honest, brave. I just spoke what I lived, I said, nothing more. As we talked, the crowd thinned. I saw Hamza standing near a pillar, shifting uncomfortably. His eyes met mine for half a second before he looked away. His shoulders slumped like someone carrying a weight he couldn't name. I didn't approach. I didn't need to. Then I heard footsteps behind me, slow, hesitant, breaking. I need to talk to you, Aaliyah said. Her voice trembled. I turned. Her eyes were swollen, lined with regret so heavy it almost bent her posture. Please. Yusuf and Mariam stepped back, giving space. Zara stayed beside me quietly. Aaliyah swallowed. I listened to everything you said. Every word felt like you were talking to me. I wasn't talking to anyone, I said, just speaking my truth. I know, she whispered. That's what hurts. She wiped her cheeks. I ruined everything. I lied. I let myself get carried away. I let someone pull me into things I shouldn't have touched. I betrayed you, and I betrayed myself. I didn't interrupt. She kept shaking. Hamza didn't trick me. Not fully. I made choices. Stupid ones. I thought I could fix them, but I kept sinking. And now? She looked at me with pleading eyes. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I need you to know I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The courtyard felt colder. I don't want you to hate me, she whispered. Please. I breathed slowly. The old version of me would have tried to soothe her pain, to take responsibility for things that weren't mine, but that version was gone. I don't hate you, I said. I'm just done bleeding for people who enjoy watching me break. Her face crumpled as if the words physically struck her. I never enjoyed it, she said desperately. I was confused, weak, lost. We all get lost, I replied, but we don't all choose betrayal as a compass. She covered her mouth as tears fell. I wish I could undo it. I wish. You can't, I said gently, and that's okay. We move on. She sobbed softly. So that's it? That's it. Aaliyah nodded slowly, like someone accepting a sentence she already knew she deserved. She stepped back, whispering, I hope Allah gives you someone who treasures you the way I should have. Hamza watched from a distance, jaw clenched, regret on his face like another layer of skin. I didn't look long. Zara touched my arm. You handled that with grace. I'm tired of carrying what isn't mine, I said. And now? She asked softly. Now I walk away. As I walked toward the exit, the evening air wrapped around me like something familiar, rediscovered after years of absence. I felt my steps growing steadier, my breath deeper, my chest freer. Yusuf called out that they were buying chai, and Mariam waved for me to hurry, but I paused for a moment, looking back only once. Not at Aaliyah, not at Hamza, just at the hall where I had finally spoken my truth aloud. Alhamdulillah, I whispered to myself, I'm finally free. I walked out into the cold night after the showcase, letting the numb air settle against my face. So this is it, I whispered to myself, hearing my breath fog. This is where everything finally shifts. I looked up at the sky and murmured, after everything I lost, after everything I thought I needed, I'm still here. Why did it hurt so much? I asked quietly, as if the night could answer. Why did I cling to her like she was the only thing keeping me alive? My footsteps echoed against the pavement. I thought I was ruined. I thought I was nothing without her. I exhaled slowly. Aaliyah, I loved you so loudly, so recklessly, but maybe that was the problem. I stopped walking, staring at a distant street lamp. Maybe I never asked what loving myself sounded like. In my mind, I heard echoes of my own voice from the past. Why didn't you stay? Why wasn't I enough? Why him? The memories stung, but something inside me whispered, you survived. I broke so many times, I said, rubbing my hands together. Do you know what it felt like, Allah? When I begged you to fix what I didn't realize was already poisoning me? I lifted my eyes upward, but you pulled me out anyway, even when I fought you. I laughed weakly. Every tear I shed over her, every night I thought I was dying. I pressed my palm to my chest. It was a doorway, wasn't it? A doorway to becoming someone I didn't know I could be. I kept walking. Hamza, Aaliyah, I used to think they were the center of my universe. I shook my head. But now, they're fading. Their voices feel distant. Their choices don't control me anymore. I remembered Aaliyah's face in the moments before everything fell apart. You were my dream once, I whispered, but dreams change. Or maybe, dreams reveal who we really are. I paused by a closed shop window, staring at my reflection. Do you see me now? I asked myself. Do you see how far you came? My voice softened. You didn't just rise, you rebuilt. My phone buzzed. I ignored it. I already knew it was another notification from someone checking on me, or maybe her watching from the shadows of my socials. I don't owe her anything, I said. Not anger, not forgiveness, not attention. I imagined her voice trembling. I made a mistake. I miss you. I didn't know what I had. I blinked away the thought. I don't care anymore, I said firmly. I don't care, and that's how I know I healed. The wind picked up, brushing my hair back. Yusuf told me today, you're finally breathing, bro, and he was right. I smiled faintly. Miriam said she's proud of me. Kareem said he respects the man I'm becoming. And Zara, I paused, feeling the warmth of that name. She didn't save me. She didn't try to. She just stayed, quietly, gently, without asking for pieces of me I didn't have. I walked farther into the night. I used to think love meant losing myself, I said. Now I know it means choosing myself first. I inhaled deeply. Allah, thank you, I whispered. Thank you for breaking me in the exact places I needed to grow. Thank you for showing me who wasn't meant for my future. For a moment, the world felt still. I forgive myself, I said, for begging, for chasing, for losing sleep, for thinking heartbreak made me weak. I tilted my head. It made me human. I stopped at the edge of the bridge overlooking the water. So this is my rise, I said softly, not loud, not dramatic, just steady. I imagined Aaliyah and Hamza somewhere far behind me, still tangled in the consequences of their choices. You're not my story anymore, I whispered. You're just a chapter one outgrew. I leaned on the railing. I don't regret loving her, I admitted, but I'm grateful she's gone. My voice turned calm, almost peaceful. She wasn't my destiny, she was my lesson, and I learned it well. The moonlight scattered over the surface of the water. I don't know what comes next, I said, but for the first time, I'm not afraid of the unknown. I felt my chest lighten. I choose myself, I said, and choosing myself feels like the first real victory I've had in years. I breathed out, watching the cold shimmer away from my lips. Funny, I murmured, how something that once felt like the end of my world now feels like the beginning of another. I paced slowly, letting gravel crunch beneath my shoes. If she could hear me now, I wonder what she would think. Would she feel regret? Shame? Relief? I shook my head. None of that matters, not anymore. I imagined speaking to her one last time. I loved you, I would say, but I won't shrink for you again. And maybe she'd whisper, I never meant to hurt you, and I'd answer, intentions don't erase wounds. A small laugh escaped me. I used to think heartbreak was a punishment, I said, but maybe it was a map, a guide back to myself. The air grew colder as I walked. There's a version of me, I whispered, the old me, The one who begged for crumbs of affection. He would be proud of who I became. I rubbed my palms together. Pain doesn't last, I said, but strength does, faith does. Somewhere in the distance, a car horn echoed. Tomorrow, I said softly, I'll wake up without the weight, without the longing, without the fear of being alone. I lifted my chin. I'm not ruined, I said firmly. I'm rewritten. I walk onward,